of any kind isn't actually the change. It is the decision to make the change. That is the hardest part. Have you felt that need where something needs to change? You feel like you don't really want to go on with the way things have been going, but it's almost like you're stuck in quicksand, like you are paralyzed to make that decision because it's scary. You have a fear of whether things are going to work out on the other end if you do decide to make a change, right? If only we could fast forward, look to the future to see if that decision that we're making is actually going to work out for us. But it's not that easy. So today, that's what we're going to break down. Exactly why the decision-making process is so overwhelming when we are contemplating making a huge change in our life, when we are thinking of reinventing ourselves, our career, our business, our lives, maybe our lifestyle. Maybe you are just looking to transform from where you are to this idea of where you want to be. We're going to walk through the entire decision-making process and why this is so difficult for you and how I can help you make it easier. Welcome back, everyone, to a Mindset Medicine podcast. I am Catherine Lucadu. I am a multi-passionate entrepreneur who has done many different things in many different industries for 30 years. I have created companies, I have started up businesses, I have sold businesses, and I have transitioned careers many times. So when I speak about reinvention and transformation, I am speaking from experience, and some of it worked out very well. Some of it was more challenging, a lot of lessons learned along the way. And this is what I hope I can bring to you, a little bit of the highlights, the lowlights, and what you could do that would make you more successful in your transition, if that is what you are looking for. So this is like a little mini series that I created, and it's only 5 episodes long, and we are talking about reinvention and transformation. So today we're actually on part 2, which is that decision-making process. Last week, we talked about clarity, and you have that feeling where you want to do something different. You feel the call to make a change, but it's getting clear on what that looks like. What does that look like for you right now? Are you looking to change careers? Are you looking to start a business? Maybe it's online, maybe it's offline. Are you looking to actually make a complete lifestyle change, move countries, start over, whatever that looks like? I'm here with you to go on that journey because I have been there through every one of those examples. I have been there, and now I'm here. And I can tell you that I'm coming out from the other side of transformations and rebounding and resilience. It's very beautiful. The evolution that you can go through is truly very joyful. In the moment, you wonder, oh my God, what the hell am I doing? But when you come out the other side, you can look back and you say to yourself, now I understand. Now I see why I had to go through all of that to get me where I am today. So let's think for a second on this. If you don't decide and you stay exactly where you are, there is no growth, there is no change, there is no transformation. Most people regret the decisions they didn't make in life. They don't actually regret the decisions that they have made. Most decisions that you make that you wish you hadn't, they're not failures. They are lessons learned. It is how you have been able to move forward in life. It is your evolution. So passing through the hurdles is your evolution. It's how you level up yourself, your mind, your experience, your skills. So for ambitious people, entrepreneurs, creators, business owners, staying stuck in a place is possibly your greatest threat. And it is the greatest threat to what you are trying to build. So, this episode on breaking through, making those decisions will possibly be very life-changing for you. So here's what we're going to cover today. We're going to cover 5 things. Why deciding to reinvent yourself is so difficult and why it's actually the most important step. Confidence versus commitment. Which one comes first? Do you have to commit to your decision or do you have to be confident in your decision? We're going to talk about that. How limiting beliefs and imposter syndrome keep us stuck in place. They paralyze us. Number 4, why regret comes from the moves we didn't make. And number 5, actionable steps to build confidence and make bold decisions in this wonderful lifetime of ours. So let's begin. Why deciding to reinvent yourself is so difficult, yet so crucial for you. We're going to start with this big, overwhelming word, the decision. Why is making a bold move, like changing your career, leaving a career, and starting a business, maybe completely changing your business focus and evolving it to something different? The answer is in both neuroscience and psychology. So let me give you a little story first. When I was 33, many of you, if you have been listening for a while, at 33, I suffered a massive heart attack one night while I was on my way to bed. I was quickly taken to the hospital by my husband. And when I got to the hospital, the doctor confirmed, yes, you are having a major heart attack. He started giving me medications and so on. Here's the thing. The heart attacks didn't stop. I went in on a Tuesday, and every day until Saturday, I had another symptom of a heart attack. By the Saturday morning, I remember, or was it Friday evening, the surgeon, the cardiac surgeon, came in and he looked at me and he said, Catherine, I've done everything I can right now. We can't operate on you because you are not stable. I cannot give you any more medication. I've given you everything we can. By the grace of God, we need these heart attacks to stop. We need you stabilized so I can actually go in and do an angiogram and see what's going on inside. And that was it. So he was basically telling me, like, there was nothing else he could do. And if these heart attacks didn't stop, likely I was not making it through the weekend. So he walked out of the room. I was in that room by myself. I was on the 4th floor, and I remember looking out the window. And I thought to myself, like, I have two young boys. I have a 2-year-old and a 7-year-old. I am not leaving them. And then I started thinking to myself, like, what have I done? What have I done with my life? Okay, so I moved countries and I've been teaching. I have these 2 wonderful children, but the regret that you feel about not having accomplished anything greater or anything life-changing, it really weighs on you. when you're lying in that bed at the end of your life. And let me tell you, not one time in that evening by myself in that hospital room, did I think to myself, oh, I wish I hadn't made that decision. No, it was all of the things that I hadn't yet done or regretted not doing. It wasn't the decisions I had made that brought me there. It was the ones that I hadn't made that I felt bad about. And some of those hadn't even crossed my mind yet. Another thing I was thinking was, well, what have I done? And why didn't I do those things yet? What am I waiting for? So to me, it was this conversation with God. And it just said, please, please save me. And I will do everything in my power to live the next round of life that I've been gifted to the very best of my ability. Treat people well. Raise these two boys of mine to be phenomenal human beings. Just give me that grace to do that. So luckily, for the next 24 hours, I had no heart attack symptom. So they were able to put me in, give me an angiogram, found out I had 4 arteries blocked, and I was in surgery Monday morning for triple bypass surgery. So yes, making decisions is probably one of the most important things in your life. And the longer you wait to make a decision, the harder it will become, the more you will talk yourself out of it. You will listen to other people and their opinions. And I do want to say something about that. If you are leaving your decisions up to other people, the advice they're giving you is based on how they feel and how they run their life. So they are essentially giving you advice on what they would do. But it may not necessarily be what you need at this point in your life. So you need to make those decisions, the hard ones. And the hard ones will be the best ones you ever make. The easy decisions will lead to easy results. The hard decisions lead to phenomenal results. So let's dive in a little bit to research. And how does neuroscience and psychology support how we make decisions? So Dr. Timothy Pischel, a leading researcher on procrastination, explains that procrastination isn't about poor time management. So if you are a person who takes their time making a decision, putting it off, I'll make it tomorrow, maybe next week is a better week to make a decision. This is actually not about time. It is about emotional regulation. When we put off a decision, we are not avoiding the decision itself. We are avoiding the discomfort that decision is causing us. Think about that for a moment. This is not about putting off time. It is about you putting off discomfort. So maybe it's time that we stop worrying about feeling so uncomfortable and just move forward in our life. Because I'm telling you, life is so much shorter than you think it is. And the time that we have is much shorter. So the brain's comfort zone. Okay, so let's go to a little bit of neuroscience. Your brain is wired for comfort. It doesn't like discomfort. It doesn't like it when you push it to its limits. That's why when we stay in the status quo, it's so much easier than stepping out and doing something that challenges us, that scares us, that puts the fear of life into us because we've never done it before. But those are the decisions that make us grow and become the person we were meant to be. Dr. Tara Swart, who talks about the brain and how it interprets threats, even if it's positive change. So the amygdala, which is responsible for processing fear, lights up when we consider any shift in our routine, even when that change is something we desire. So if you're listening to this and you're thinking, well, I'm not ready to make a decision, I'm just not there yet. Just know this, that the longer you stay in indecision, the longer you will be stuck. The worse your paralysis will get from moving forward. You actually can only move forward once you have made that decision. So what's holding you back? What are you waiting for? Ask yourself. So here's a little takeaway from this section 1. What is the discomfort that you are actually avoiding here right now? What is it about this decision that's making you so uncomfortable? Write it down. And sometimes when you can actually see it there on paper and you start thinking about it and walking yourself through it, you may realize that it's just because I'm scared. It's just because it's the unknown. And if that's really the only reason, do it. Make the decision. Let's go to section 2. Confidence versus commitment. Which comes first? So that's interesting, isn't it? Should you be committing to the decision, or are you first becoming confident about making the decision? Most people will say, well, I will make the decision once I feel confident enough. But confidence usually doesn't come first. We usually have to build our confidence, don't we? And we also have to start having little wins in that new decision to feel more comfortable about it. Have you ever had this where you are thinking about making a decision, okay? And what starts happening is all of a sudden you start getting these little signs. Like you get a phone call from someone that you really didn't expect, or you get an email and you're thinking to yourself, well, this can't be a coincidence. To me, these signs are really important because they typically lead me to believe that I am, in fact, making the right decision. So you actually gain confidence by committing to making your decision. So, yes, I am going to make a decision today, and my decision is this. There's your commitment. Now, your confidence will start building. When I was first invited to speak on stage, I was asked to speak about video marketing. And this was in 2016. Not too many people were doing video marketing on social media, but I was having great luck with it. I had a coach who had suggested that I start doing videos in the real estate world. So I started doing that. I had phenomenal results. I mean, really, really good. My real estate business doubled and tripled because of it. So I was asked to speak in front. My very first audience was an audience of CEOs, broker owners from across North America in this very high level room. And I was thinking to myself, like, at that point, I had only been doing this for about a year, 8 months. But what I was thinking to myself was, okay, the people in the room haven't done this. So I have something to share with them. What we have to remember is that we have a gift. We have these beautiful, unique, special powers that we can bring to everything that we do. And we forget that. When we're making decisions that are life-changing, that are going to change the trajectory of our future. So you want to reinvent yourself right now. You are bored. You need a change. The decision to do that is huge because you're about to overhaul everything. But here's what I want you to remember. You're not starting from scratch. You're starting from everything you have gained up until this point. You are simply changing direction, but you're not going backwards to start again. You are simply diverting and now continuing on a new path. Psychologist Dr. Heidi Grant Halverson is known for her work on motivation and goal setting. And she explains that decision making is like a muscle. And I actually believe this. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. She found people who make decisions quickly and consistently are more likely to follow through on decisions and succeed in their goals. And it's absolutely true. The more often you start making decisions in your life, no matter how small they are, they will lead you to making decisions faster in the other areas of your life. Most of the time, we aren't making the big decisions because we are second guessing ourselves. And why are we second guessing ourselves? Because of past experiences. So something to remember is that your past experience are just that. They happened in the past. So what we do is we just learn from them, but try not to be traumatized by them. Because one thing happened before does not mean it's going to repeat exactly the same way, unless you have chosen the route of not changing your behavior. And if you are exactly the same person who follows the exact same patterns of behavior and ways of thinking, then yes, it may repeat itself. But if you have grown and learned and educated and become more self-aware since that past experience, it will not repeat itself because you yourself are a different person. So try not to fear too much when deciding that you want to make a really big change in your life, because you already have these phenomenal skills and superpowers within you. And if you don't believe me, here's what I'd like you to do. I have created the Success Superpower Quiz, and I'm adding the link below. I would like you to take it. It has a foundation in personality tests. It's 5 questions, but the results are incredible. And it will give you some confidence back to make that decision that you know you need to make. So go ahead, take the quiz now, pause the podcast, pause the YouTube video, click on the link for the superpower, the Success Superpower Quiz, take it, send me your result and say, hey, Catherine, this is my result. Tell me what you think of it. Do you think that that is who you are? And be really honest. And how can you use that superpower moving forward? And if you're not sure, that's why I'm here. I can help you move forward, knowing all of these wonderful skills that you've got. So here's what we're going to do. Your takeaway for section 2 is do the quiz and start small. Make small decisions today, no matter what size they are, no matter how simple they are. Just start making them one after another. Don't look for anyone else's input. You start making the decisions that you want to make today. build that decision making muscle. And very quickly, you're going to see how making decisive moves now and every day forward lead you to making the bigger ones that much faster. Let's go to section 3. Limiting beliefs and imposter syndrome. We hear this word a lot, don't we? Imposter syndrome. And it is actually what will hold you back from being who you really are, showing the world what you have to offer. When you have limiting beliefs and imposter syndrome, you have essentially put yourself into a box that has a ceiling, it has very tight walls, and there's a floor. And you are not moving yourself beyond it because it's comfortable in there. Maybe you will hear yourself say to yourself, who do you think you are that you're about to make this change? Why would you disrupt life now? Why are you going to change up everything? Just because, why? You're unhappy? If you've ever had any of these thoughts, that's okay. But those are your limiting beliefs. And these are these stories that you have learned over the years to tell yourself. It's okay, stay where you are. Don't cause ripples. Don't cause a problem. Maybe the story going on in your head is you're just not ready yet. Maybe you have the need, and this is what I have actually encountered a lot in people over 30 years. Maybe you feel like you need to get more education. You need to take another diploma. You need to go and take another course before you can go and move forward. Actually, what you need to do is just make the decision to move forward and then decide if there are any other courses that you need on that path forward, not vice versa. When I decided in, October, November of last year, 2023, that I was going to write a book on AI, I didn't tell anyone. And the reason I didn't tell anyone I was going to do it was because I had already made the decision. I didn't want anyone's input. And you may say to yourself, oh, well, I could never do that. I would want to discuss with someone. And that's fine. But when you know in your gut that there is something that you want to do or a path you want to follow, there is no one that you need to check with. All you need to do at that point is decide that that is what you're going to do and then move to the next part, which is coming up with the plan. And that's what next week's episode is going to be about here on the Mindset Medicine podcast. But for today's purpose, this is what I want you to remember is, when I was writing this book, I did have fleeting thoughts saying, is anyone going to read this? I knew that there was a lot of hesitation about AI. So let's take that for a moment. We have the positive and the negative. We have the positive where, oh my gosh, AI is this new thing. It's amazing. Look what it can do. It can make our lives easier. It can make our work faster. We can work smarter. All of these amazing achievements can be done with AI. But then we have the opposite train of thought, which is, but people are scared of it. But people are cynical. People think AI is going to take over the world. They don't necessarily see it as a positive. They don't know how to add it into their world. Had I decided to listen to all the negative aspects of AI, I would never have written the book. But the way that I came about it was, well, I understand that there are these two schools of thought when it comes to AI. So my job in writing this book is to distill all of these complicated ideas about AI and make it simple. Why don't I just explain how AI will enhance your life and your business? Why don't I even show you case studies of what other businesses did and were able to do using AI, and even entrepreneurs with smaller businesses in Costa Rica and what they were able to accomplish by themselves using AI in their business? And what if I were to give some of the apps that you can use to accomplish all of this? So, my purpose and my passion for wanting to help people understand AI better superseded my fear or worry that no one would read it. I wasn't worried about the outcome of how many books will I sell. My only decision at that point was, do I feel called to do this now? And do I think this will help one person? And the answer was yes to both. So I went ahead and I wrote the book, which has done very well on Amazon, which has led me to be in magazines, which has led me to give workshops. So, I should tell you that if you haven't read the book, it is called AI Secrets for Unstoppable Business and Life Hacks. And it is on the Amazon store under my name. If you haven't read it and you still feel that AI is a little too advanced for you, I would suggest that you get it. I have priced it so low that it really is a non-issue, but I do think that it will give you a new perspective on how artificial intelligence can be used in your business and your life. So that's the little story about writing my book and imposter syndrome and limiting beliefs. Imposter syndrome. Am I a best-selling author that I should be writing a book? No, I'm not. But why should that stop me? How do we become a best-selling author? We need to write a book. It's as simple as that. So before you put yourself in a category of, but I'm not that kind of person, maybe change that frame of mind and say, but can I become that person? I became an author because I wrote a book, right? I made the decision to write the book. Then I moved into action. Then the book got published by me. Then I was able to sell copies on Amazon. So now I am an author, which I never thought I would be. It's a very simple process, right? It's knowing you have this clarity of what you want to do. Then it is making the decision to do it, which can be the hardest. And then after that, it's creating the steps and the plan and the road ahead. And that is also where I come in, helping you with that strategy and what that looks like for you. I don't like cookie cutter because I don't think cookie cutter works for everyone. I think everyone needs their unique path forward. And that's what I help people do. So here is your takeaway from section 3 on limiting beliefs and imposter syndrome. What limiting belief is currently holding you back from being an early mover? What limiting belief is holding you back from making your next bold move? What is it? What is that discomfort? What is it you're feeling that you don't measure up? Why are you so hesitant to make the decision? You need to ask yourself these questions because when you get the answer, now you can make your decision. Let's go on to part 4. Why your only regret will be the moves that you didn't make. Now, I did talk about this earlier about lying in bed in that hospital in Cyprus, not knowing if I was going to make it past the weekend. But it is a fact, and studies have shown that people just regret the things they didn't do. So just do the thing. Don't worry about failure. Don't worry about your fear. Just do it. You have it in you. You have the strength to do this. A study published in Psychological Science found that at the end of life, people are far more likely to regret the opportunities they didn't take, the risks they didn't pursue, and the decisions they avoided making. The pain of regret from inaction lingers far longer than regret from failed action. So when you decide to take action, as scary as it is, as fearful as you feel, you will give yourself the chance to grow. You are giving yourself the gift of evolving into the next version of you every time you make a scary decision. Isn't that why we're here? To keep evolving into the next chapter of our lives. It is a beautiful thing to see. It's a beautiful thing to watch when people are evolving into the higher version of themselves. And it will keep going right until the end if you allow it to. If you stay where you are, you will always wonder what could have been. And that is not a way to live. So let's go to part 5. What are some actionable steps that you can take to build confidence and make a bold decision today? Because I know you want to make it. You just need a little push. So we've talked about the decision-making process. We've talked about whether it is confidence or commitment first. We've talked about limiting beliefs. We've talked about imposter syndrome. So now, how do we build up to the confidence of making that first bold move you're ready to make? One is micro decisions, which we talked about. So you're going to start making small, low-stake decisions, and you're going to start building your decision muscle. And you're not going to refer to anyone else's opinion. You're just going to start making those decisions for yourself. Number 2, confidence through action. So your confidence comes after your commitment to making the decision. So you've made that decision. You're going to say to yourself, we're good. We're moving forward. I'm not worried about failure. I'm not worried about the end result. We are going to move forward now, step by step. And every action you take, it does not matter how small it is a positive step forward. So be so proud of yourself for making that first step. And step 3 is to reframe the limiting beliefs that you have right now in your mind. Write down a limiting belief, this belief that you've got, this story you're telling yourself, which I know isn't true, because you took the success superpower quiz. So you know you have superpowers. You know you have what it takes to be successful, no matter what you choose to do. So we're not worried about whether reinventing yourself will work. We are not worried about whether transforming yourself into this new person, this new job, this new business is going to work, because it will, because you believe in yourself. And that is what I help my clients do. learn to believe in their decisions, because when you've got a really good plan and you've got a great strategy and you have a cheerleader behind you, you will not fail. I promise you that. Failure is not an option, not in my world. So, wasn't that fun? Decision making. So now that we have explored how decision making works, we have explored the hardest step in your reinvention process, you now need to put the ideas into action, which is what we're going to be talking about next week. What I would like you to do right now is to say to yourself, am I ready to do this on my own? Or would Catherine really be that amazing person to mentor me on my way to a reinvention? Do you feel like I could help you? Do you feel like I could be your cheerleader and help you with those plans and strategies to help move you forward? If you are curious, click on the link below for a discovery clarity call with me, and let's just see. Maybe that's the hardest decision that you need to make today, is to simply click on the link and book a call with me today. And let's just see how far I can help you move to the next chapter where you really want to be, because that's what you truly desire. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. And I will see you again for part 3 of our reinvention series. Bye for now.